Hi, welcome to the Ambient iPad. Just going to make a short video that demonstrates how I use the direct outputs from the Mellotron to process each of the two instruments that you can play separately. Typically, I just use the mono analog output. There's a bank A and a bank B on the Mellotron, so you can mix and match sounds, and they just get summed together out of the mono output. But in the direct output, you can actually then process those sounds separately within a DAW. So I'm going to show how to do that in apeMatrix and Garageband. So let's start with apeMatrix. I've got the Mellotron set up with kind of the two classic Mellotron sounds from the Mark II, the flutes and the violins. What I'm going to do is we're going to use Matrix 1 here for the flute and Matrix 2 for the violin. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go into, use a Focusrite Scarlett 18i8 interface, and right now it's summing the two together. So I just want to choose USB 1. That'll give me the sound from the first output. Let me demonstrate that. So this is the flute. All right, and then let's go to Matrix 2, and we'll change this to USB 2, and now we have the violins. Nope, we have to actually enable the input and the output. So I've got two separate matrices now, matrices, Matrix 1, Matrix 2, and I can also put these in different parts of the stereo field, so let's do that. We'll add them together, and then see if this works. Except for my bum notes. The flute's obviously a little less in volume, so let me just tweak the mix here. All right. What I want to do now is I'm just going to add like a simple effect to each, just so you can hear the how you can process them differently. So let's use, for the flute, let's just use a reverb. I'll just choose black hole, and I have a default setting here. Let's go back to the flute. Jack up the mix a little. Oh, also I need to connect it. I don't need that direct one anymore. So you can hear that, and you know what? It's just not very loud. So let's go up here a little. Okay, that should help. Let me go over to number 2 now, which is where we have the flutes, the violins. And for this, I'm just gonna add a delay. Use Imaginando's K7D. I'm not gonna sync anything. I'm not really going too crazy with this. I just want to demonstrate. Here we go. Okay, there you go. So let's add them both together. So you can hear the flute with the reverb is going on for a lot longer. The violins with that delay. Let me try one other thing here. So let's switch this to the exact same thing. Let's remove, we'll add K7D again. And I'm just going to use completely different settings. So let's have it be long. Let's see what this does. All right. So we have much longer feedback with the flute. So there you go, that's apeMatrix. So let me demonstrate the same thing, but in GarageBand. So let's add a new one. We want voice fun. That's where the clean setting is. So we'll do the flute first. This should do the flute. Turn on monitoring. Right, so we've got the flute. Now let me add one more, and we'll do the violins. Let's turn that off. Okay, it's only doing the flutes. Because this is set to channel 1, so we need to change that to input 2. So, good point here. For each of these, you can change the channel or the input. And you know what? I always do this because why not? You also get a Mellotron icon in GarageBand. So if you've watched any of my videos with GarageBand, you know I always do this. So we can now process these separately. Once again, why are we not hearing? There we go. I think because it's too low, so let's jack that up. But we're not hearing, so we need to go, of course. So you have to enable recording on both. There we go. Okay, I think what we're going to do here is play around with the panning. So let's pan. For this one, we'll pan, and then the flute will pan over here. So I'm just going to turn. Okay, they're there. You can hear it. So I've got them very far over. Let me just add some effects. So to the flute. So there's the flute, a little compression to kind of raise the volume there. Let's just use the stock effects here. So here's some delay, echo. And we'll add a little bit of reverb. And then let's go over to number 2. No compression here, only because, well, just a teeny bit, but I'm using compression really to raise the volume of the flute. A little echo, not too much. And a bit of reverb. All right, let's hear them both. So there you go. You can process the instruments from the Mellotron M4000D family using the direct output separately in your DAW. I have Cubasys too, but it would be the same concept as GarageBand. You just would set up individual tracks and then you can add effects in the same way. Well, I hope that was interesting and maybe helpful if you do have a Mellotron and you are using a DAW. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and good luck with your own music.